What's a C-U-C-H couch? What's a Q-U-I-V-E-R quiver? What are other elementary level spelling bee words? It's your boy Patrick, aka Patty, aka Patty freaking Clips. Here again, we got a Minecraft tutorial, Redstone part 2. Now that I've taught you the basics, I'm going to show you some of the stuff I like to do with Redstone, some of my favorite kind of contraptions. And so we're going to do bridges today. As you can see, I already have a bridge set up. These bridges rise up above lava, and when you lower them, the lava actually fills back over the top. Very, very cool. I'm going to show you how to do a 3 wide, a 2 wide, a 1 wide, and I will also give you a brief description of how to do a 4 wide if that's what you want to do. So we're going to be going over all that today. We're going to focus on bridges. I know a lot of people want to see that rainbow beacon. I will have a very clear, concise tutorial of how to do that. The one thing I want to focus on in these videos is being really clear, so you know exactly what's going on. So that way when you're doing it, you don't have to watch a tutorial. You actually learn and you can do it by yourself. I think that's the best way to teach people so that they come out and make something even cooler than me. So here's a test question. Why am I going to go back and delete these sticky pistons? If you did not know, these sticky pistons are 1 block too high and would actually protrude over the ground, and it would be a really awkward bridge. So we need to actually put those on ground level. For those of you who didn't know, I did that intentionally, just a little test to see if people were paying attention to how sticky pistons work. So yeah, we have them right here, 2 blocks lower than what we want. That means the block will raise to the proper level. I believe we have them 3 deep right now. So we're gonna add this polished stone above it. I really like the way this looks. I think it's fantastic for these bridges. I like to use a lot of the stones, the polished versions, the regular stone, even the cobblestone. I like using them in sync, especially with the stone fences. I think they give you a really cool look. So here we go with the switch. As you can see, it's not doing anything yet. I like having those switches to either side. It doesn't really matter. I do recommend, however, running redstone underneath the switch. If you do that, you don't have to have a hole. I believe that's the cleanest look. So I'll explain that as when we connect the redstone from these for these pistons. I'm just gonna delete the ground. I need to be 1 layer lower because of where my redstone repeaters are gonna be. I wasn't gonna sacrifice this pig, but obviously it continued to be in the way, so we're just gonna get it out of the way real quick. And here we go. So once again, the reason we're using repeaters is because they flawlessly power sticky pistons that are side by side. If you try to power sticky pistons side by side with anything like with regular redstone, it won't work. If you put blocks and the redstone flows into blocks into the piston, that will work. But in this case, we're just going to use repeaters. I feel like it's the cleanest way. The reason I'm doing this, I'm showing you these repeaters are actually powering the middle column of the bridge. We are going to have other repeaters above them that flow power into these blocks, and these blocks will then power into the pistons to raise the outside left row and the middle row of the bridge. So we're just going to lay these down, get it ready. As you can see, once again, redstone straight across, repeaters for each block. Here's a really important thing that's coming up though. You do not want these to connect without having repeaters for one of each side, or for both sides, I mean. If you connect them without having repeaters, then they will become a circuit, and the red line will just power in a circle. And that's definitely not what you want. So, and also another really important thing with repeaters, you always imagine that the repeater is facing towards wherever you want your power source to go. So for mine, I intentionally made sure to point them towards my pistons because my switch is going to be behind them. And so they're actually flowing towards these sticky pistons and all these other repeaters. That's very, very important. Just remember to always think about it like that. Where your power source is and what your repeaters are flowing into. I think that's a really easy way to remember how repeaters work and how to use them. As you can see, I have my redstone underneath my switch so I can close up the ground. Looks great, but only the middle one rose up. I also recommend keeping the switch lit when you're going back to work if you have a problem with your redstone, because it's really easy to tell what's broken in that case. As you can see, the problem was repeaters need to be fed redstone in a straight line. If they're not in a straight line, it won't necessarily work. So this is very confusing. I decided to go back and fix this. If you notice, I have the same stone for my bridge as I do for the stone that is powering the sticky pistons on the outside. That's very confusing. I would recommend using different kinds of blocks so that does not happen to you, so you know what's rising and what's not, so that way you're not confused. That's why I went back to correct that really quick, so there was no confusion. So as you can see, our first two are completely risen. They're working perfectly fine. Now we just need to make our third one and connect it to the other line, and we'll be good to go. So that way the switch rises all three rows of pistons, and we're good to go. So if you wanted to make a fourth, a 4 wide, if you wanted a fourth row of sticky pistons, what you would need to do here is copy the other side and put a row of pistons underneath your middle piston. That would raise your middle piston. Then you would need to add another row of sticky pistons, which would be your fourth row. And you would need blocks beside them, just like that other side that was powering straight into them. 4 wide looks nice, but for me, I like the way 3 wide looks. I just think it looks really clean. I think it's very nice. The reason people are probably wondering why I broke that extra layer of dirt, I just like my sides to be the same. I don't like there to be a distinct difference like that. So I'm just going to show you real quick what would happen if you were not using repeaters for the entire line, and why you don't do that. Because the problem is when pistons are right next to each other, one won't be powered even though the line is powered, unless you use blocks in a really weird way. So I just recommend not doing it like that. As you can see, the first 5 are powered, the last 4 are not. The problem is, and I'm just putting down a repeater just to show you, like, it's not that the line isn't receiving power. That's not the problem. The problem is the piston is not receiving power. So if you use blocks, this will work, but it's a lot clunkier. It's not as smooth. I don't like it as much. I just don't recommend it. I recommend using repeaters. And if you're not very comfortable with repeaters, please leave a comment below. If we want to have a repeater only tutorial, I would definitely do that. I would consider doing that for people who are having problems with repeaters, but the use of repeaters is very important. And there you go again with me focusing on making sure that repeater is facing the correct way towards the power source, towards the pistons. And so that's it. This is really, really simple. Doing these type of sticky piston bridges with a lever are very, very simple. And now we're just gonna close it up, and I'm gonna put some lava in there. These are really great for like moats. I love them with when I'm building castles or churches, anything with a medieval feel, and I want to have a lava moat. I think these kinds of bridges are fantastic. The reason I only have a lever on one side is the on-off with levers. I've not quite mastered it, so if one side's on, the other side needs to be, or that side needs to be off for the other side to work properly, for me at least. So I just stick to one side lever. I like having my lever on my entrance to my building. But I can definitely work on that if people want to see bridges like this with levers on both sides. I'm also going to work on a redstone bridge like this that actually goes up. So I'm gonna work on that. So just know I got some stuff in store for you guys. I know a lot of people want to see the rainbow beacon. I'll make sure I put out a very clear and concise video of that, so people know exactly what they're doing. So here we go. I'm just closing it up. The reason I'm doing this is because you have to protect your redstone from lava or water if you want to use water. If you don't protect your redstone, your whole creation will just come apart and won't work anymore. So it's very vital that you go back, protect it with stone, with dirt, with whatever you want, but you gotta protect it. So I'm just closing it up. Now that there's no holes, see how the redstone would be visible if that hole was not covered. You gotta close that up. And so for me, I like things being symmetric, so I'm gonna go back and spend the extra time fixing this so it matches the other side. Some people will probably say it doesn't matter either way, you're putting lava in there, but for me, it matters. I just like them to be uniform. I like them to match. So there you go. This is the 3-wide bridge complete. Very simple. I would love to see a lot of people experiment with this, getting more blocks out of it. That would be cool if there was somebody out there who can make a 6-wide. That would be fantastic. I would love to see that. But yeah, just experiment with the bridges, especially with the outsides. I'm using fences here, stone fences, because I think it looks very nice. I think it looks very clean, and the stone fence will show you where the bridge is going to rise up after or when the switch isn't on. I really enjoy that. I think it's very nice looking. So we're going to fill it with lava so you can see the final product. Going around, filling it with lava. I like going around the outside, just hitting every block real quick. As you can see, I do have a part that did not quite get filled. This happens occasionally. If you just put blocks down and then break them, you can fill it in that way. I'm not sure why it didn't reach the middle. I thought my other bridge did. Maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, the reason I'm using lava, because it makes the bridge a necessity. You have to use it, otherwise you can't get across. So yeah, that's why I like lava over water. Water you could just swim across, so it kind of eliminates the purpose of hitting the switch for the bridge to rise. So yeah, I recommend using lava. Lava, like I said, for anything medieval, is fantastic. Create moats all the way around your buildings, your structures, your villages. Put one of these in the middle of a town square. That would be really cool. I would love to see these on like adventure maps and volcanoes and stuff like that. So if you have any questions about the 3-wide bridge or the 4-wide bridge, please just comment below. I would love to answer those questions if I can get to them, which I am very, very confident I can. But we're gonna go from here once this lava's filled in, looking smooth. So yeah, as you can see, I have 2 complete 3-wide bridges. This one right here and the one I showed you in the very beginning. As you can see, lava flows right into it. Works fantastic. You can try to sprint, but nah, you wouldn't make it. So I think it's great. This pig is in the way. Not sure what he's doing. Mistake, pig. Sorry, man. Rest in pieces. Rest in pepperoni, pig. And there he goes. So that it could work in that way as a trap if you have levers on both sides. We're just gonna build a monument to that pig really quick. Have a moment of silence. I mean, that's long enough. It was just a pig. I don't like that grass, so I'm gonna fix it real quick. I'm gonna dress this up with a path. You can do all kinds of stuff with this bridge once you have the redstone built. So like I said, the biggest thing is just experiment. Don't be afraid with the redstone. Don't be intimidated. Really get out there, mess with it, use it. If you have questions, there's tons of YouTubers, not just me, that would love to answer your questions and would love to help you get your projects off the floor. So please just ask. As you can see, that's 3 wide. Well, I'm going to show you a quick 2 wide, how the redstone works. It's a lot more simple. It's the same exact principles. I went with repeaters just flowing straight into the sticky pistons here on one side to power that side, and then I have it flowing underneath the switch, and I have it connecting to the other side, as you can see. So pretty simple when you're doing the 2-wide, dealing with a 2-wide. As you can see, blocking the repeater, it'll just cut off power. So redstone will flow straight into it if it's 2-wide. So you actually don't need repeaters, but for me, I just like it more because sticky pistons side by side, like I said, once again, don't work. So this is the 2-wide. I'll show this really quick how the redstone flows underneath the switch, and how that works. As you can see, it just flows straight underneath. It'll work like that, so you can close up the ground. Looks professional, looks good. That is the 2-wide bridge. So I'm gonna close this up real quick. So yeah, we're all closed up now. I built this before the tutorial just so I had it ready. I also have a this one, actually, the 1-wide, the single block sticky piston bridge actually looks fantastic. I would love to do a really, really long version of this. I'm talking like maybe 60 to 80 blocks long, if I could get it to work. I just think the one block, the single block, looks so nice. So how this works is you just choose whatever side you want. I decided to go with a pretty low like bottom for my my single block for my repeaters. I don't know why I decided to go. I think that's 4 layers deep, 5 layers deep. There's no need to go that low. You just have them powered straight into the sticky pistons. I'm not sure why I did that, but I'm just showing you the problem if you put a block that cuts off the redstone, cuts off the power source. So yeah, this is it. It's pretty much it. The 3-wide, the 2-wide, the single block sticky piston bridges using redstone and lever. These are very practical for survival too, if you decide to use stone. If you don't use really crazy materials for the bridge, for the border, this is very, very practical to get in survival. So as you can see, that's how the single works. The lava will fill in. You cannot jump onto the fence. If you decide to use the cobblestone fences or any fence, you can use wood fence, but those will probably catch on fire. So yeah, that's it. This is the single wide. I think I'm gonna do a quick fill-in of all of them, so you can just see them all in function real quick. There's our 2 3-wides, our double wide, and our single block. So yeah, that's it for the sticky piston bridges, the redstone sticky piston bridges. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. If you have any requests for either redstone tutorials or just general building tutorials, please leave them below. I would love to get to those. But thanks for watching. This has been Patty Freaking Clips.